What's going on, YouTube? So beside me is the refreshed 2022 Ford Expedition, which is a very, very important vehicle for Ford. This is facing some stiff competition. We even have a new Sequoia coming up. So without further ado, let's take a detailed look at this limited stealth edition and see what's new for this refresh. So I want to start out today by talking about the different trim structures for this refresh model. You start out with the STX model, and then you work your way on up through several different trim levels, and this is based on the Limited. This is the Limited Stealth Edition, which basically is a mix of sporty design elements with a more powerful engine up under the hood, which we will talk about in the test drive portion. But as far as what you're going to get for this model, you have a blacked out grille area, blacked out Ford badge here in the middle, blacked out Expedition branding, and I really just like the way that this overall looks. Now, as far as all this area, this would be chrome on the higher end or different trim level models. And then we also have some LED headlights here. These are the LED reflector style, LED turn signal as well, plus some LED fog lamps. Now let's go ahead and talk about the wheel designs. So for the Limited Stealth, I think you might get the best looking wheels on any Expedition in the lineup, because these are going to be 22-inch blacked out alloys with some silver trim around the outside edges. We're also going to have red painted brake calipers, and I think that might be a little bit weird, but overall in person I think this looks really surprisingly good. I also love this paint color that this vehicle is finished in. Plus we're also going to have blacked out mirror caps. These are of course going to also have the full functionality for the Expedition Limited Stealth, since this is one of the higher end models in the lineup. Now, as far as the side design, nothing's going to change too much for the refresh. This is going to be your signature Expedition design. You can, of course, get that extended wheelbase version. This particular model right here is just the standard wheelbase. We have some chrome trim, and then wrapping around, it wraps around to the rear design, which is also slightly changed for the refresh model. The back is not as different as the front. However, there still are several elements that Ford has changed. So for the Limited Stealth, we have blacked out Expedition branding back here, blacked out piece that intersects between the taillights, and the taillights are going to be where they've revised for the 2022 model year. We have full LED taillights. These are actually a beautiful design. They have a lot of three-dimensional elements in here, and they are full LED. Then if we drop down to the lower area, we'll notice it's all going to be blacked out, and we have a 9,300 pound tow rating. Let's climb on into the refreshed cabin. There's also going to be quite a few changes in here, and overall I can say that Ford has done a really, really good job with updating this interior. They've added a lot of modern touches. They really just made this cabin what it needs to be to compete against those new models coming out. But I'll give Drew a second to just hop inside so we can take a detailed look at this interior. Now, before I start with some of the interior features, I do want to mention your safety systems. I wanted to go ahead and get out of the cold rain here. So for your safety systems, you are going to have them all standard equipment. Additionally, for this refreshed Expedition, you will have the Blue Cruise system available, which is, of course, a really innovative feature that allows for hands-free highway driving on the roads that Ford has mapped. So that's a really nice feature that they have thrown in with the refreshed model. I also want to mention there's the new Timberline trim level. That's the off-road version of the Expedition. That's going to throw in several different unique elements, including skid plate that's straight off the Raptor, as well as 33-inch all-terrain tires to really give you that maximum off-road ability. But let's go ahead and talk about what you get with this Limited Stealth Edition in regards to the materials. So for the upper dashboard, we are going to have a hard touch one. However, if we come down a little bit more, we have some nice leather trim with some red stitching detailing going through for the Limited Stealth. We also have a unique trim piece. I'm not really sure what type of material this is, but it does look really quite neat. We also have some more leather coming down, and across your center tunnels here, it's all going to be a nice leather wrapping with stitching details. Now, I also want to talk about some of the technology, because that's really what Ford has upgraded the most with this refresh model. We do have digital gauges here, which is of course a big upgrade from what you had previously. These are going to be fully reconfigurable. These are the nicest gauges that Ford offers that we've seen in some of their latest products. And then if we come down to our steering wheel, it's going to be a nice new design. Of all your buttons here, we have some nice trim piecing through here, as well as some red stitching. And then as far as the storage, you're going to have your signature Expedition storage. If we open this up, you'll notice we have a gigantic center console here. It's probably one of the largest in the entire segment for interior storage. There is tons of room for coupons in there. We also have our 2 cup holders, a wireless phone charging pad, and then some more of that trim piecing. But I'm not going to leave you in suspense any longer. This is the element that you probably already know is new. This is going to be the 15.5 inch display. This is running the newest Ford software, and this is really what you've seen off of the Mach-E as well as the F-150 Lightning. So this is going to be absolutely blazing fast. You have all of your functionalities on here. As you can see, we don't have a phone connected right now, but you do also have wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and I also really like how they've integrated the climate controls down here at the bottom with a physical volume knob integrated like within the screen. It just looks super cool in person. In addition to that, we're also going to have heated and ventilated seats plus a heated steering wheel. And then coming up, we have an auto-dimming mirror, and we're also going to have a panoramic moonroof for this model. But now let's go ahead and quickly check out the rear seats. Now come on back here for the second row. I'm going to make this pretty brief because it is raining really hard outside, and we hopefully will have a full review on our channel of this refresh Expedition coming very shortly. We'll try to work with Ford to get some content on this vehicle coming very soon. Now, as far as features you're going to get, cup holders up top. We're also going to have 2-stage heated rear seats for this limited stealth model. All your USB ports. You even have a household style outlet to keep everything charged up. It's a little hard to adjust there. We also have 3-zone climate. The third row is going to be nice as usual. The Expedition has always had one of the nicest third rows, and this is going to continue for the refresh model. Definitely a lot better than the Toyota Sequoia. And coming up to the tailgate, I'm going to try and shield out of the rain here just for a second, but we're going to have a good amount of cargo capacity back here. This is going to be unchanged for the refresh version of the Expedition. Like I said, all those numbers will be available in our full review coming to the channel hopefully very soon. Also, we are going to have power folding abilities here, so you can just push these buttons here, and we have a power folding third row, and the second row went ahead and electrically folded. So this is your look at it with all of the seats down. You can fit so much crap back here, it's not even going to be funny. But guys, that's going to wrap up the walk around portion of this video. Now let's go ahead and take this limited stealth out on the road, because I did mention that you have a revised powertrain for this model. Nice.
Yeah, so if you couldn't tell from that little bit of acceleration there, we do have something special under the hood that's different from even most of our other Expedition models, and that's the fact that we have the high output version of that 3.5 liter EcoBoost twin turbo V6 engine.
Now this of course is the exclusive element about going for the limited stealth over the other models, and it is also available on standard on the Timberline model. But this is going to have quite a bit more horsepower, looking at 440 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque, which is a lot of power, a lot of torque. That's more than what you're going to get out of the Tahoe 6.2 liter engine. And we just got out of a Navigator Black Label, and it's going to be the exact same engine that you're going to get there as well. So it's going to be a really premium engine for the limited stealth model, and I like to see that Ford has added that, because you're not just getting the sporty design on the outside, you're also getting some performance benefits as well. Now if you go for the other models, not the non-limited stealth or Timberline model, you're going to have a 3.5 twin turbo. Still, you're just going to have less power. It's going to have 380 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah, so always going to have really big numbers, lots of torque as well. So if you're, wondering about the whole debate of V8 versus twin turbo V6, I don't think you're going to miss the V8. This has just gobs of power on board, and honestly it kind of is tuned to have a little bit of a deep rumble to the exhaust note here in the cabin, so it's almost V8 like, you could say, if you can hear it over top of the pouring rain right now.
Yeah. You're also going to have a 10-speed automatic transmission. It's the one that's co-developed between Ford and GM. It's one of the best transmissions that you can get in any vehicle, honestly. We've been continuously impressed by this 10-speed, and in this application, it does still such a fantastic job of just switching gears seamlessly, very smooth, and getting you the power when you need it. Now, I do also want to talk about your ride quality for this Expedition. Of course, this is a family 3-row, so you're going to want really good ride quality. That's, of course, what you're going to get here. I haven't really noticed many differences between this refresh model and the regular pre-refresh model, but that's certainly a good thing because this vehicle is always rode really, really comfortably. You can get available adaptive dampers, and just pay attention as we go over some bumps in the road. It really just soaks it up so well.
Right, and we were driving the Navigator Black Label, like Mason was saying earlier today, and actually comparing the two of them, they're not super different from each other. Neither of them have an air suspension, for example, but they both can have the availability of the adaptive dampers, and this rides really nicely.
Yeah, and I've been continually impressed by the ride quality, even though this does have big 22-inch wheels. We just came from a really, really rough road. It does a absolutely fantastic job. Now, we don't have specific fuel economy or pricing information on this particular test drive. Like we said, the full review is hopefully coming to our channel very soon, and it will have all of that information available. Nice.
But anyway, guys, we hope you enjoyed this quick walk around and test drive of the refreshed 2022 Ford Expedition. Like we said numerous times throughout this video, we certainly look forward to testing this out, fully giving you guys all the details about all the trim levels, all the stuff that we do in our signature full reviews. So make sure you head down below, click that subscribe button. All that's going to be coming to the channel as soon as possible. Also, make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram if you want to see some shorter types of content. And we'll see you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.